This is your favorite time of the week with your number one podcast.
Hear my true story.
Yes, my dear listeners, welcome back yet to another new episode on Hear My True Story podcast. Yes, my dear listeners, I want to welcome you back again on this wonderful podcast, Hear My True Story. I'm happy for those who are listening to this wonderful episode today on their favorite podcasting streaming platforms. Well, I cannot forget those who are watching us on our YouTube channel, Hear My True Story. We are happy to always have you. For those who are new on this wonderful YouTube channel, you can subscribe so that you don't miss any of these wonderful informations that we share on Hear My True Story podcast. In the last episode, we had a conversation about Waldkindergärten. Well, today we are going to focus on what is called the forest kindergarten. Imagine having your child spend most of their day outdoors. Well, if you are interested in outdoor activities for your child, for your infant, then this is the right episode for you. As I mentioned, these episodes, these stories that I'm sharing, this information I'm sharing is for those who are interested in learning about the various forms of kindergartens in Germany. For parents who come to Germany and you're migrants, you came in here as skilled workers, as expats, as refugees, maybe you came as a student and you are here, you have a young infant who's not yet 6 years old, and you need them to go to daycare center, and you are in this situation of struggling to decide what is the right daycare center for my child. Subscribe on this wonderful YouTube channel, Hear My True Story, or subscribe to our podcast on any of the listening or streaming, on any of the streaming platforms for podcasts. You can listen and subscribe. So I'm sure people who are watching this, some of them are here to understand what the forest kindergarten is. To me, I would say it is the kindergarten where the children spend most of their hours, most of their day outdoor in the forest. What happens is that the children are brought to the kindergarten, and then after that they set off into the forest where they spend most of their hours in the daycare center. Most of the forest kindergartens, they have like a building, but the children are minimal in the building or indoor. They can go indoor in case the weather is extreme. In that case, they will go indoor. However, all the seasons of the year, children are outside in the forest. Is it winter? They're outside. Is it summer? They're outside. Is it autumn? They're outside. Is it spring? They're outside. So they spend most of their days outside, outdoor, in the forest, learning from nature, trying to connect with the reality of being outdoor, creativity, creating play materials from natural products in the forest, trying how to climb trees, looking for plants that are in the forest, trying to learn from experiencing their creativity on day-to-day activities in the forest. So that is the outdoor, that's the forest kindergarten. So my dear listeners, or my dear viewers, if you are there and you are like, my child is in for forest learning activities, the forest kindergarten is there for you. And don't be worried. In case of extreme weather, there is always somewhere indoor where the children will take shelter. Other than that, the other activities are outside in the forest, outdoor, jumping, running, discovering, everything is outdoor in the forest. So today, I break down what we shall talk about. 1, forest kindergarten. What is it? I've already mentioned it. Outdoor activities. most of the time, the young children spend their all day outside in the forest. What is the philosophy behind this method of kindergarten? Because your children will definitely explore things that they find in the forest. They will try to create their play toys from what they find in the forest. In case they want to climb, they will definitely try to find trees where they can climb from their ability. In case they want to try out balancing, they try to balance on the stems or on the plants or balance on the trees. All this is all about best learning system, where the children become independent. The children get to be creative. The children get to grow strong because they are outside there trying out deeply and connecting with nature. So my dear viewers, or my dear listeners, how does the day in the forest kindergarten start? In the morning, children gather outside. For example, they may stand in the circle, and that moment the educators or the pre-educators support the children by trying to check out on their list of the day. Okay, what do we need to be outside? Is it cold? If it is cold, a warm jacket. We need a scarf, you take it. You need water, you take it. So in that process, in this morning circle, children and the pre-educators try to look out for what is needed for the day. Then after the morning circle, then what happens? Weather check. The educator and the children check out, is it going to rain today? And if it's going to rain, we need the raincoats. We need the gumboots. We need the umbrella. If you need it, you take it. So the weather check is done, and now every child gets ready to get into the outdoor activities in the forest. So when someone hears, okay, now the children are in the forest, what do they do when they're in the forest? There are many things that can be done outdoor. For example, hiking, climbing, building houses, collecting leaves, exploring the plants in the forest, exploring the kinds of small insects, worms, and animals that can be found in the forest. In that time when the kids are in the forest, they explore, they try out their creativity, they create their own houses, they build their own fantasies inside the forest, and they play with the plants, they play with the animals inside the forest. They try to be so creative and independent. So most of the things that are needed for the child's development, for example, balancing, walking, movement, all these things can be beneficial for the child when they try them independently outdoor, without the thing that, here you need to do this and this. No, they try. The kids themselves try to look at something and say, okay, this is a stem fallen on the ground. I can try to balance on it, and then they try to balance, and in that process, the child is learning to balance. For example, a child is like me. I need to do myself a toy and build my house. I need a spade. I need a rake. So they create things from stems, from branches, and they build their own house. That's the beautiful thing, because their creativity is based on nature, on what is available, what resources are available in the forest for them. That is the thing. Those activities can be done by children in the forest. So if you're looking at your child to be in that kind of creativity and also connected to nature, to understand the beauty of nature, and to get to learn what kind of insects, animals, birds that live in the forest, then forest kindergarten is for you, or it is for your child. So someone may be saying, my child is in the forest kindergarten. Now, how do they eat lunch, breakfast? Well, this is so interesting and funny. So when it comes to breakfast, they sit in the forest, picnic. They do a picnic. Everyone has a mat, puts down, they remove things that they have in the bag, they have packed for the day, put it out, sit in the circle, and they eat. So they have a routine. Like we first play, after playing, then we come in a circle, we eat breakfast. Then after eating breakfast, everyone packs their containers in their bag, place them at the meeting point, and they continue playing. Or they say, now we are going for bird searching. Then they start searching for the sounds of birds in the forest. So all these activities, with the guidance of pre-educators and professionals, the children can benefit a lot from the forest kindergarten. And if I'm to talk about creativity, well, in the forest kindergarten, the children have a big opportunity to be so creative. They can try to use the available materials to literally be so creative, to have their own creativity, from weaving, from collecting leaves, from creating their own cars to play with, from creating, it is so wonderful in the fact that you don't need these fancy play toys. The child is going to be in the forest, and they will explore how to create their own play toys. And from there, they will be so creative, their mind in doing things that they need that can make them independent. They can identify something, adopt to it, use it as a play toy, pay attention to how to be careful with it so that they don't hurt themselves while playing with the sticks or the stems. This all comes with the fact that they get the opportunity to experience with this resource or this stem or this kind of play material they have found in the forest. So when it comes to other things, why would a caretaker choose to take their children in the forest kindergarten? I mean, there are so many things. Some of them I've talked about them. One is like creativity. If you're interested in your kid to be so creative, then you can choose the forest kindergarten. Resilience. If you want your child to develop resilience, the child who gets the opportunity to spend it in the forest where they are able to meet challenges, deal with these challenges, find solutions, there it is for you, the forest kindergarten. Well, if you are thinking of maybe encouraging your child to be so creative and independent, it is the outdoor activities where they can do their own things on their own. Communication, because kids in the forest kindergarten, they're outside, they tend to use all their kinds of speaking skills, body, sound, they are free to burst out and shout the way they want. They can hear the kinds of sounds from the forest and then try to play with these sounds. Such things are quite important. So if you look at such things for your kid or for your child, then look at the forest kindergarten for you. And then also another important thing is connection to nature. Well, anyone who's there, who has ever grown up in a place where they have connection to nature, then they would like their kids to be in the forest kindergarten. Personally, I didn't go to a kindergarten, but I spent most of my time in the forest, connected to nature, without an educator, without a parent guiding me, meaning I was so independent, creating my own materials, trying out, risking out, what can I do when I find myself in this situation? How do I deal with my other colleagues in the forest as we play? So, my dear viewers, if you are such a person who experienced that as a child, you would like your child to experience some kind of forest kindergarten where they are connected to nature, where they are independent, where they are able to find solutions to challenges that they meet in the forest. Another thing that comes with the forest activities or outdoor activities is that the children tend to develop some skills with problem solving. They tend to develop skills with how they can express their emotions, how to express your emotion when you're happy, you're hungry, you're sad. All these activities that happen outdoor tend to have the children experience how to deal. The weather is not nice, I don't like it, then it's okay. You can express that out, that it's rainy, I don't like rain, but I'm outside, how do I deal with this? And another thing is that when certain challenges come with mud, rainy, the child tends to experience out, to carry out these experiments. Okay, if I jump in water, what happens to the water? it splashes up. So when I get this kind of mud and mold it and I create my own house, what happens if I leave the mud? Does it fall down or does it stay standing? All these experiments, children get to experience them when they're in the forest, which is really good for them. So, my dear viewers, those are some of the things that I've mentioned that could inspire a parent or a caretaker to have their child join the forest kindergarten. So, my dear viewer or my dear listener, is the forest kindergarten the right place for your child? That is a question for you. As I mentioned, forest kindergarten is ideal for people and families who want their children to be connected to nature, to be so creative, their children to develop skills of problem solving. Parents who are ready to invest in rainproof clothing for their children, jackets, mud coats, gumboots, all this. Then you are there for yourself to find a forest kindergarten and have your kid go there. So, as I said, Germany has a lot of forms and types of kindergarten. And another thing I want to tell the parents who are thinking of taking their kids to the forest kindergarten, it is the right and best place for kids to adventure. Because they're not indoor, they're outdoor. They can adventure a lot of things that you may not be able to provide indoor in the kindergarten. So if you are there, you are an adventurous parent, adventurous family, well, look for the forest kindergarten. Take your kid there. Let them adventure outside. What happens in the forest? Through adventure, learning based on experiences. That is for you. You find yourself in the right place, or for your child in the right place. Or maybe you take your child there because you know that is the right place for that child. But however, if you get to realize that, well, my child is not interested in outdoor activities, or my child does not enjoy forest activities, then you don't have to take your child there, because you need also to look at what is really the interest of the child. However, you need also to know what is the need of that child for their development. Well, you can also have a lot outdoor activities in the forest, but at the same time, also indoor activities could be there in the forest kindergarten, or call it Waldkindergärten. So as I conclude this wonderful episode, I want to just tell my dear viewers and my dear listeners, if you think your child is happy or wants to experience outdoor activities, then the forest kindergarten is right for them. If you want your child to be connected to nature, if you want your child to be so creative, if you want your child to develop skills of resilience, skills of problem solving, if you want your child to experience this adventure outdoor, then the forest kindergarten is right for you. However, my advice would be for a parent, before you decide to take your child to a forest kindergarten or call it a wild kindergarten, you can take a visit to the forest kindergarten, spend 1 hour with them outdoor and get to know what are the experiences of forest kindergarten that your child would make if they got a space in that kindergarten. Because it is allowed for you as a parent to pay a visit to any kindergarten before you make any decision to take your child in the kindergarten. That is allowed here in Germany. So for my dear parents, those who are coming to Germany, those who are migrants here in Germany and new and finding ways how to have their kids find the right kindergarten, pay a visit to the forest kindergarten, experience their day for 1 hour, then decide if it's the right place for your kid. So my dear listeners, before I say bye to you, I want to tell you the next episode we shall be looking at the bilingual, or call it international kindergartens. There, as you hear it, bilingual and international kindergartens. These are kindergartens that focus on more than one language and celebrate all the cultural activities and festivals from different cultures. That's why they are called bilingual and international kindergartens because they put their focus on more than one language, which is German. So they would experience speaking German, speaking other languages like English, Spanish, Portuguese, any language would be appreciated. And at the same time, they will celebrate international days that are really important in different culture and religious aspects. That's what I can say about that. But if you want to know more about the bilingual and international kindergartens, well, why not subscribe to this wonderful YouTube channel so that you don't miss the new episode that is coming. And for those who are listening to this episode on their podcast streaming platform, you can also subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode of Hear My True Story. And for that reason, my dear viewers and my dear listeners, it has been me, Otako, and I want to tell you right now, goodbye, have a nice day, and I hope you enjoyed this wonderful episode. Bye for now. Till next time. Choose. Bye.